Hello, and welcome to Imperfect in an Uncertain World, resources for living with authenticity and purpose. Do you ever feel like the Velveteen rabbit before his metamorphosis? It's time to get real. Let's talk. Okay, so it's time to get real. To look beyond who others think you are, who you think you are, to be that person who is patiently and not so patiently waiting in the shadows of your soul. You know that person. In fact, I'm betting that you get a glimpse of them every once in a while. And that glimpse gives you the energy to sustain yourself through the hard times. Now, this reel of the Velveteen Rabbit, that part of you is the empowering part of you. At one point or another, we've all felt that power. Maybe you need to dig deep into your memories, but I'm sure you will find at least one occurrence of that feeling. And when you have felt aligned to that power at your core, and so ask yourself that question, when did this happen? If you're uncertain, think of a time when your words and actions aligned with who you knew you were. You felt greater than yourself. You connected to something bigger than yourself. And that connection, I got to tell you, felt great. So for an example, I remember when I was on a panel at an international conference, I was worried about what I would say. Yeah, people said that I was an expert, but I was an expert with imposter syndrome. But then something happened. I was asked a question and I opened my mouth, and the words that flowed came from a place deep inside of me. And I'll name that place as something at that exactly where I was connected to something greater. It came from my divine spark, my sacred spark. And when I'm connected to the greater, the universe, the sacred, call it whatever you will, I felt the power surge at my core, and my words came out eloquently. Now, in subsequent years, I have felt this power surge over and over again. I wondered how I could be connected to my core, how that could be the rule instead of the exception. For me, it's about trusting, knowing that wherever I am, whatever I am doing, that my intuition is waiting to twine into my consciousness. And that twining reveals my best self. Now, I think it's easy to say and very simplistic to say that this is about believing in yourself. Believing in yourself is only the beginning. It's also about tethering who you are present to the world, how you show up to the world with who you are deep at your core. And that's the big challenge. So how do you tether? I believe that you begin by naming who you are at the core. And this isn't about creating this wish list of traits. No, this is asking yourself how you truly show up in the world and listening to that, because it might be there's some great ways you show up and there are some not great ways you show up. It's about asking yourself, what is stopping you from being that great person? How can you let go of some of the ways that you're showing up that really are not you? It's also about realizing that this discernment is not a one-off. No, this is an ongoing practice to discover over and over again the nuances of who you are and noticing the detours your reactions take you on. It's about taking action to realign your journey with your purpose. And wow, that's big stuff. But it's satisfying, it's challenging, and man, will you feel good whenever you do it. So I'm going to say getting real is not for the timid. It requires that we act over and over again in ways that bring us to a place of response from our core. And when we're real, we expect nothing less from ourselves. We expect to be the Velveteen Rabbit who discovered what it was like when he was real. So I want to thank you for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And I'm going to just say to you, you know what? Are you struggling with really digging deep into that core? As a contemplative coach, I would love to work with you. We'll work with mindfulness tools and some intuition skills to really create strategies in your life to be that real person, to really connect at the core. Give me a shout out if you'd like to schedule something, and additional resources are available at vanessafhurst.com. But whatever you do today, discover and live your real. Namaste.